where it need to be pushed at the GitHub level. At GitHub, it is going to be pushed using Git commands. How Git works, how Git implementation done, that is secondary thought. Forget about it as of now. Fine. Now what will happen? Till here, your code is available. Till here, your code is available, right? What we did, we reached to here, we got a requirement from here, from the beginning, like the way we got it yesterday, we got the requirement. We finalized which language we want to use it. Once the language we finalizing, we started writing the code. Once the code is finalized, then we started using the tool which we want to use it. And then what we did, we pushed the code to the common repo. So in the organization, whoever person is there who having the access for this repo can able to access that particular code, right? Fine. Now code have been reached till that point. Till here, any doubt? Till here, anyone doubt? People who are came for the first time into the last, any doubt? Till here? When code reached to this point, it is fine. Now, let's say we are, for an example, just an example, let's say my father is there. As of now, if I give him a phone to use it and use WhatsApp, he can able to understand it, right? He can able to validate it. He can able to see the messages. But in a same scenario, if I can go ahead to him and I can show him this Intel IJ and code written over there in a Java language where he is able to understand, if he is not from the technical background, the answer is that he won't be able to understand it. Because that is not something for everyone. That is not for something for everyone. That is for someone who is from that particular background, right? But when we are building any project, when we are building any application, when we are building any scenario, it is on the customer problem, right? Who are actually customer? We are only the customers, right? At enterprise level, the other customers are there. At company levels, other customers are there. In normal level, for example, Paytm, PhonePe, GPay, right? We are the regular customer. If someone can come to you, showcase the code of Paytm, were you able to do it? Use it? Obviously, no, right? You cannot do it and cannot use into the mobile phone. So don't you think again you are seeing one more problem? That code you have written, you have deployed, you have created one, you like written a code, very good code you have written for an application. But now how to use that code thing? How to use that code thing? Then in that particular scenario, the next step which will come over here is your build part. Which will come over here is your build part, right? Build part, what exactly it means? It means I need now something, a tool, a framework which can give me an form of application which I'm going to use it. For an example, there are multiple frameworks are there for building a code. Okay, few are, let's say, few are, let's say one is Maven. Before Maven, there was Ant was there. Ant build tool was there. Okay, then Maven came into the picture. Now in the industry, Gradle is there. Gradle as an build tool. So this, whatever build tool you are using it, it give you the capability to develop or deploy an application. But that too, we cannot doing it directly from the code level. It can be done from there also, but that will only produce jar file, which is again not relevant for the regular customer. Then how this will going to be help us? How the next step is going to be help us in that scenario? In that particular scenario, the next thing which is going to come over here is your Jenkins will come into the picture. Your Jenkins will come into the picture. Now, let's take a break over here. Again, what we did, we got a requirement from the product manager. It can be your product manager, it can be your project manager, anything, which is the top letter. Okay. From there, you got the requirement. Once requirement came, you came to here, you find that organization is using Java. If you know Java, well versed. If you don't know, you have to learn it Java during your training period of 6 months, whatever they give you. You have to learn Java. Then you have to use, which is the ID, you have to use it. For example, Intel IJ, they are using it, or Eclipse, they are using it. Once this part is done, then you will start writing the code over there. Once you written the code, what you are going to do it, within writing this code only, you will be using any of the framework. It can be your Maven, it can be your Ant, it can be anything, whatever you want to use it, that you will be using it. Once this complete code will be available, then you will be pushing to the Git and GitHub. Now, code reached to this part. Now, code reached to this part. Now, developers problem solve. Now they are communicating with each other. Let's say developer 1, developer A, developer B, developer C are there. So how they are communicating each other? GitHub. For you people, when you are communicating, there is a common WhatsApp group. Whatever query you have, you can drop it over there. Similarly, where developers now can interact with here also. But how they will interact in detail, that we will see in a Git classes, not as of now. So now for them, it is a common point, they got it. Now, what will happen next? After that, there will be a part, there will be a professions where they again did not understand the code. Maybe it can be your project manager, it can be your manager, it can be a scrum master. They won't be able to understand your code. They want something in a form of reports. They want something in a form of any kind of a report, it should be available. As well as whenever you are using Git or GitHub, this code when you are executing, you are running into your system only. When we run anything in the system, it means it is local environment. Whenever you are doing or running anything in your system, it means you are running into your local environment. But when you run anything in the local environment, for an example, your working hours is like 9 to 5. And after 5, if someone want to see the result, obviously they need your presence. You cannot go again, log in again the system and see what happened, right? Yes or no? In that particular scenario, Jenkins came into the picture, which is actually denoted as a pipeline process. Pipeline process with respect to the CI and CD process, continuous integration and continuous development, you can say, deployment also you can say, anything is fine. What it will be doing it, for an example, when this code, Git and GitHub code is available over here, this is going to integrate with the Jenkins. This is going to be integrate with Jenkins. Okay. So means whatever code is now available over here, it is getting read by Jenkins also. It is getting read by Jenkins also. So once Jenkins having the code available, after that, what is going to be happen? Earlier, what you are doing it, you are going in this application, you are clicking right and running as a Java application. You are doing it. But once you reach at this level, at Jenkins level, you actually no need to run as a Java application. You need to just do trigger a job over here. What exactly you have to do it? Trigger a job. So when we trigger a job, what will be the base for this one? The base for this one is the Git and GitHub repo where the code is available. I will make everything in a joint, just wait for a time. Fine, where the code is available, it trigger a job. Now, in Jenkins itself, you have to define again few parameters. Let's say you want the capabilities related to Maven because it is a Maven based project. And on top of it, you want an application to be available for my customer, right? Now, you have a bandwidth when you are developing an application as a software engineer. You have a bandwidth that my application should work in Windows based application, Windows operating system, as well as Linux based application. So what is actually we need to do it over here? if I have a compatibility support, I have a mindset, an enterprise mindset, where I want my user should be having a compatibility support for Windows, for Linux, for let's say Solaris, for Ubuntu also. So what should be my thought process in between while I will be triggering a build? What do you think? What should be your thought process over there? In between, your thought process will be that when I trigger a build, I should use a plugin for any build tool, let's say Maven itself. So it should generate .exe build for me. Got it? Whenever I trigger a build, I should use a plugin which should give me .exe build. It means now the customer who was on Windows, their problem solved. Their problem solved, right? Other customers who having Linux operating system, they can go ahead and they can use .sh file or tile file. Second customer problem solved. Third will be for Solaris or SUSE, similarly tar and .z file. So here you will actually get the set of builds available. Here you will get the set of builds. Builds means it can be any kind of a build. It can be your exe. It can be your .exe. It can be your .sh. It can be your .tar.gz. Any kind of file which you need to configure it at the customer level, this all configuration you are going to do at the Jenkins level, right? But does this part is more than enough for a customer? Does this is plenty? The answer is no. We cannot release anything before validating it. Always remember, when you are when any company launch a car, let's say Mahindra launch Scorpio N as a latest version into the market. So they does not just only develop the car. After that, they do a hell lot of testing on it. So the next important metrics under process to start the project is your test part. Is your test part. Test part. Now here also two things is going to be happen. Here also two things is going to be happen. When I say testing, when I say testing actually from 2017 or 18, the categorization have been divided into two parts. One is the automation testing and another one is manual testing. These are the two testings are now available into the market. So when we say testing over here, what their role will be over here? So their role will be, they will come over this place, this particular place, like let's say this is another letter over here, and they will use their own tool to write their frameworks. They will use their framework. Okay, there are many automation tool. Let's say Selenium. Okay, Protector. They use Java, Python as in programming language. They use framework as in TestNG. They use BDD frameworks. They use this framework. They use it. So they have some different kind of a suits available in their subset, where what exactly they will do, they will create a testing based methodology that is completely a different concept from DevOps. It's not relatable over there, but still you should know what exactly into the market. So they write their own codes, scripts over there. What they exactly do, they will take the build which is getting delivered by the developer and they run that build in their mechanism. They use that build and they can run into their automation based environments. They can run it from local. Again, when I say local, what it means, where your code is running. Similarly, they have also similar code of automation testing, or they can run it into the Jenkins based environment. So again, now this came to this ladder. but again product cannot be released. Again the process is not completed. After that, there is one more team came into the picture. This team will be your manual testing team. This team will be your manual, or you can say quality assurance team. Quality assurance team. This is the another team also coming. You have to understand one thing. There is nothing is possible to automate 100%. The manual intervention till the human life survive, it is required. Without manual intervention, things won't be possible. You cannot, like when we say that, okay, automation is that much efficient into the market that, okay, cars can be drive. But in India, kind of a market, you can't. Even though ADAS itself not successful in India, right? So you have to understand one thing, that this have plays a different role. For an example, automation, they have written some of the suits they have written, and they start performing validating it. They're finding that, okay, some things are working. But when we come to quality assurance, when we come to the manual testing part, in that particular scenario, they will start validating the different use cases. Let's think a scenario. I have given you one website, www.facebook.com. Just a simple scenario. Now, if you want to test it, that particular website, from the first thing, what you are going to do it in that particular scenario. I have given you a host name, www.facebook.com. And now you have to validate the UI, the functionality. So what will be your first thought process over there? How you are going to test that website? What you will do? Login. So if it is login successful happen, what it is mean? What it mean? What it mean? If you pass, if you enter the scenario, something like something you pass, login details. In login also, what you will pass? User ID password. For example, if you are passing wrong user, wrong password, then what should be expected result? What should be the expected result if you are passing the wrong username and password into the login page of Facebook? Exactly. So these kind of scenarios we generally validate at the manual testing level. But manual testing does not mean that limited to only UI. It can be UI, it can be API, it can be database. It depends what level of testing you are doing and how depth you are doing it. On that basis only, you are going to validate it, this particular component. Clear this part? Now let's understand the whole process. Now what is going to be happen? So now the first part, when you went into the organization, there is a requirement you got from the organization that, okay, boss, you have to develop a threat intelligence based application. This is the requirement. You got it. After that, this requirement, you got it into the form of Bugzilla, ALM, Jira. This is a ticketing type tool which is used for notifying or raising the defects, feature enhancement. Please remember this terminology. You are going to hear the similar terminology into the organization. So you won't find itself blank, because when managers will talk to you into the organization, they will not talk into where you came to the school and all. They directly talk in this way. That, okay, have you completed your task? Have you completed your defect? Have you completed that feature? So you have to be remember these all words which I am referring right now, right? So once this Bugzilla having this details available, after that it goes to developer. Then Mr. Developer have opted the language, whatever it is supported by the product. Then he use the IDE tool, which is done. Then he start writing the code in this one. Then he push the code to Git and GitHub. Once the code is available at GitHub, then what exactly it happened? It went to the Jenkins. When Jenkins part done, it start triggering the builds. Once triggering the part done, there is an application build started. Application builds once started. After that, what happened? It went to the automation testing team. They validated in their environment where they validated the product by deploying it and configure it. Later on, once it is done by automation testing, then it went to the manual testing team. But did this part also complete the process, or still there are anything? Did this part completed the process or still anything? What do you think? That is, error will come at second stage, and error will come until the R&D team will raise one part, that point. Okay, now you touch on upon that part also. Let's discuss. So let's say it reached to quality or automation team also. It reached to quality or automation team. They found there is some issue in this application. They're trying to install this application into Windows. Suddenly it is throwing me an error, invalid user. While deploying also it pop up. So as a individual engineer who are working, it can be developer, it can be tester, it can be DevOps guy, anyone. You notice there is an error. So what you are going to do it, or any person will go it, he or she will raise a defect. Raise a defect. Why? Like when he will be raising the defect, how he will raise? Which thing he will use? While raising the defect, which tool he will use now? Jenkins, very good. Jenkins he will use for raising the defect. Which tool he will use? Exactly. The tools which is mentioned over here related to the requirement, epics, enhancement, features, bugs. Please open your mind and rethink what exactly I'm talking about. Whenever anything which is not relevant on the front where things to be captured, this is the tool which is used over there. This life cycle which is against in this front, this is completely at the development level. Forget about this part as of now for a time being. First clear on this part where you have to capture your all track records. You have to capture your story points. You have to capture till how much time you have taken to complete this. Everything is getting monitored into the organization. So please keep your mind active while attending the class. So when we say requirement in the organization, defects, features, enhancement, epics. Epics means, for example, there is a big use case which you want to develop. So that epics can be defined into multiple levels. Epic 1, Epic 2, Epic 3, Epic 4 within the application. It can be Jira, it can be ALM, it can be Octane, it can be Bugzilla. So when you find an issue, that defect tracking tool is your Bugzilla or ALM or any of the application Jira and all. Clear? Fine. So now this defect you have raised. Okay. For example, you have raised a defect. So now what will happen? Who will fix it? Exactly. Once you raise a defect, that will go to the developer. Now you have to understand one point from here. Now he got the issue. He got the issue that, okay, there is some issue in my code, right? He find there is an issue. He fixed it in his repo. He fixes in repo. There are two kind of repos in Git and GitHub. One is the development repo, means two places your code will be available. One is the developer repo, where you do whatever you want, no one bothers. Whatever you do it, no one bothers. Second one will be the master repo, where the stable code will be available. It means this particular repo having the stable application running. For an example, if I'm using WhatsApp in my mobile phone, it is the stable WhatsApp. But this, if I'll take it, this is the development build. Now developer have again make the changes over here. Developer again the make the changes because you raise the defect. Fine. He fix it also. Now what he will be doing it? What will be the next process again he will do? What is it? No. Before testing, what he is going to do it, once he fix the issue, first he is going to push that changes to the Git or GitHub. First he going to push his changes to Git and GitHub. And again, here again a point is there. He is going to push whatever changes he did it into the developer branch only. What is branch? What is repo? It's okay. I know that is not understandable, but some part you just need to understand that he will again push something which is allocated to him only. Right? Now he pushed it. Again the changes. But we know that our stable build is in master. We know that our stable build is in master. And now we have to again push the changes to master. So what he is going to do it, he will push whatever changes which was in the developer, it going to be merged to the master branch as a PR process. As a PR process. Right? Once that code again merge, then same process will again start. That same process again, no need to worry about the process which is happening over here at GitHub level. This is very detailed class when we talked about. As of now, you have to just understand what exactly it is going to happen when the defect is going to be raised. Fine. Now, so now product is ready. Product is ready. The team who having like 15 to 20 members or 25 members, they said that from the developer, from the management and the manager said that this is fine. Let's assume this application what you develop for bank only. You develop this application for a bank. Bank people say, let's say it's State Bank of India. Governments are also customers of IT product companies, IT based companies. So now he said that boss, fine, you did everything. We purchased also because you did a lot of marketing. But now you have to tell me only how this deployment is going to do it, because we are not knowing anything at the deployment level. So what is the next step it is going to do it? The next step will come over here. The next step come over here, and this is your deployment level. This is your deployment level. What exactly it means? Deployment level. Deployment level means where now the engineer of this company, let's assume Madan, your name is Madan, right? Let's assume Madan. Madan is working with Google. They develop an application for an SBI, and they came to here and they deployed the application. They deployed completely. Now, for sometimes Google said that boss, it's okay for 20 days or what, but you don't have to worry about. Our engineer will come and do the things. So again, another letter will come over here. That is your maintenance part. That is your maintenance part. Maintenance part. It means if any issue is coming in for this 30 days, for an example, if I'm having any issue in this 30 days, my engineer from the renowned company, he will be keep checking your things. He will be definitely, if someone, let's say products are not very cheaper, to be very frank, to be very true, that is very costly. Some products can go $50,000. Some can go more than that also. So products are not cheaper at enterprise level. Normal companies, it is cheaper, but still that can go very high cost. But generally it is not cheaper. Okay, so don't be in a dilemma. Okay, the amount of these things are very low. No, it can go in crores. It can go is very big. So now maintenance is someone have to come and see. Fine. So till 1 month, Mr. Mother went over here. He see everything is fine over there. But after 1 month, it is not very easy for any engineers to go again and again because it add on expenses also. Then what next? Then what next? Then after that, the next step come over here is your the next step which come over here is your employee training. Employee training. It means now you have to train the employee who is already available into SBI itself. It doesn't matter, that is not your responsibility. That is not the organization responsibility to whom they will give, which person they are going to give it. It is completely SBI headache now to whom they are going to give it. So now employee training started, and let's say any of the employee from SBI, let's assume Charan is an employee over SBI and he got an opportunity to work for the product. Let's call it that product as an aviation product. Aviation product. Okay, we given a name as an Arogya Setu. So let's say we develop for SBI only this app, right? Employee training is done also. Now 4 to 5 months it is going fine, but again, when we give this much of big projects to any organization, there is an agreement that you have to keep this application at the monitoring stage. Keep this application at the monitoring stage. So the final stage, which is come over here, this will be your monitoring stage. Monitoring stage, where you will be monitor the application from core to end. From core to end, that okay, how this application is working, how the application is working. Hence, this is actually your software development life cycle. This is your purely software development life cycle. Fine. With respect to monitoring, it can depend which particular tool you are using. Again, it purely based on organization level, which they can use it. So as we are learning AWS, so it can be your cloud watch. It can be your cloud watch, which you are using it. Okay. So basically what exactly it is happening, if you see now the whole process from the beginning to end, from where we started, where we went in. We started from the requirement which we got from the organization, where a basic requirement, let's assume instead of Arogya Setu, SBI have given some application to develop, which is purely onto the application based, right? The people who are still in a sleep mode, please active. For an example, if you are seeing this application, which is requirement have been came in, right? From here, when the stage started, it went to development team. Once reached to development, they finalize the coding problem over here, the problem, whichever code they required. Once the code is done over here, then they figure out the studio, whichever they wanted. Then they came to finalize. Then they use repo, where the code repo will be available. Then it came to automation testing, right? Then they get to testing level, manual testing level. Then they came to deployment level at the customer end. Then they came to maintenance, then employment training, and then to cloud. This way, the whole software development life cycle works. Before I proceed further, please let me know any doubts over here. Hmm?
Uh,
Yeah. See, the requirement when come to the company, it depends multiple factors. Any company who is working it, there is a front level company is the support team. Okay. Support team directly interact with the customer. Now, let's assume Blinkit is a soft application. You are staying far away from family in a scenario. You are staying in village. Okay. And in a village, Blinkit does not order. So as a customer, you have a problem, right? That it does not order. So what you will do, you will go raise a request into the Blinkit. Boss, it is not there. Could you please do it? When same like you, thousands of requests go to the support team, they will escalate this thing. Then someone who is the support manager, they will bring this issue to the R&D bucket or the product manager. That boss, the customers are there. We will get some revenue from there. Could you please start delivering that particular area also? So now R&D team, what will do? They will implement a feature for that particular area. They will implement, let's say, it's for an example, it's Andhra Pradesh as an area. They find that, okay, Andhra Pradesh is not there in Blinkit. So they will add Andhra Pradesh also into Blinkit. And now what will happen? The revenue which is missing it over here, on that basis, it will start getting the revenue. This is one part which is requirement came. Now come to the programming language part which you asked. It purely depends on two bases. One thing, if your project is very old, if you are already having a very strong customer base, maybe that project might be started in 1990s or 2000 and they started with Java, let's say. So to change the legacy code, this is the word or terminology generally used, to change the legacy code is not easy because so much of customer associated. The customers are which are using the products from last 20-25 years. So you definitely don't want to break the product. So whatever the developer who are getting hired into the organization, they will follow the same methodology. They will find that they will use the same coding language on top of it. If he is coming from any background, it doesn't matter if the requirement, if the business requirement that he should know Java, then for 6 months he have to learn Java. Then only he is going to work on that particular project, or else there is no use for that particular person. So on top of business requirement only, these decisions have been made over there, right? So if something is the legacy level, they are going to use Java itself. If it is Python, it is Python. If it is Golang, it is Golang. But something which is purely newly you are going to develop, something you came as an out of the box, like, okay, this new application we are going to deliver it to the market, totally new. At that front, it depends on the recent day support. You have to understand one more thing. Whatever you are using into at the application level, you have to see how much open source softwares are available, because company don't want to waste money on the paid licensing. How many of you really know that Java is paid? How many of you really know that Java is paid? No one? A time was there when Java was freely available for the companies, but now if any enterprise, any organization needs Java, they have to go for the license. In the way there are so many alternate came into the market, Azul is there, OpenJDK is there at enterprise level. As a normal user, you can go ahead and download it. Just you have to create an account. For example, for an assignment, what I have given, if you want to go and download the DB binary, binary means which is used to download the product. Remember this terminology. Binary used for to downloading the application. Okay. So when you need to go to download the database binary, you have to log in into the Oracle portal, and you have to mention as an personal. You no need to mention anything at the business level because you are not associated with any business. So for you, it is free, but at top of that thing, which is license based, that is at the corporate level. You might be have one thing, when everything is available freely, open source, then why Windows is not freely available? When everything is available freely, why Windows is not available? Can't I bypass this code with respect to Windows operating system? Why you have to purchase only the paid license one, their Windows? Have you ever think of you are available Linux, you have available all the other operating system, but how come Windows is licensed? If I go and use any corrupted Windows environment, your Windows won't work for longer. Even though reason why, because Microsoft having very strong mechanism at the licensing model. If any one of the company use the corrupted license, or there is a word which I am not able to recall right now. If you use that kind of a word, that kind of a Windows, you will directly get a letter or a notification from them that please don't use this kind of Windows. This will hit your operating system, your efficiency and performance. On top of it, you have to take the license. So that is the major reason. Few things are license based, few things are open source. Right? Any further doubts? Any further doubts?
Uh, Hi, Ranjit. Good evening. Yes, as we discussed in the
From the
second step
fresher
itself,
fronts, not from the experienced one. Fresher fronts. People from the last who joined for the first time. Are you guys able to understand? Everyone. In top of it, I just want to touch upon this one thing in this process itself. So this is a DLC SDLC process, but as well as this is a process of your DevOps also. DevOps, generally people say it came this year, that year, but truly it is absolutely wrong. DevOps is not something which is newly came into the market. It just transitioned in different way. It was something from the time when the IT came into the market, because at that time also some processes was getting followed it. Now also processes was also getting followed. Only the thing is that there are the naming convention, there are few aspects only have been changed, and they just make a specific role over there. But one thing I am assuring you, if you are master in this one, you can able to work in any role, because it covers the complete IT. It covers the complete IT itself. It covers the because it is that much vast that the more you go in detail, the more you will find new. Okay, and one more thing which is quite interesting. I'm seeing many of you reaching to me before apart from this one, many of you are reaching to me in person about the package Slack. So see, this question is depends. This actually depends on multiple criteria. The reason why I discuss this point, many of you have texted me, many of you have reached out to me about this part, that okay, what will be the package on this area? As a fresher, first of all, you don't have to think about package. You have to understand. I thought to drop text yesterday, but I thought that okay, I'll discuss this part in the class itself. It depends on the company level, which company you are. For an example, if you are getting a product-based organization, any product-based organization, your starting package. I'm not talking about any training institute as of now. I'm not calling any institute right now. That okay, they will give you, not at all. This is not my words. This is purely depends how your luck favors from where you are getting the opportunity. If you are getting into the product-based organization, highly chances you can get till 12 LPA as a fresher. It can go 15 also as a fresher, 10 to 12, but the range. If you are someone who is in the range of 5 to 6 years of experience, if you have a package range was pretty much good from your past, you can able to make till 40 LPA or 36 or 40. This will be your range. Again, how much you bargain, how much you uh, go for more detailed based company, startup based company. If you are someone who is at 9 to 10 years of experience or 11 experience, it can go up to 70 LP. I'm talking about of my experience. The real number, which offered by Wipro recently. I think you guys are not there in my community group. So there I disclose that numbers. So it can go to 70 LP also. But again, it depends what is your previous package. Again, if you are someone who is on 15 or 18, it now depends till what was your last drawn package. So that way your number of salary will be differs, right? So please don't again and again ask me what is the range of package I will get. What is the first thing is that you get a job. You can get 3 lakh also. You can get 1.2 also. To be very frank, to be very true. You can get 10 lakh also. But target always big. If you target big, you will definitely get good. As a fresher level, please don't depend on one platform. I'm saying again this thing to many person in many classes. I said you should be having your account at naukri.com where your resume should be available. You should be very active on your LinkedIn platform. You should be very active on Fresher World. You should have enrolled it. Just 600 rupees they will charge. They will give you walk-in related details. One is your this one Insta Hire. You can configure it over there, or you can go for referrals on LinkedIn. You can ask it if their positions happen opening. You can go over there. Another one is join many telegrams groups are there for fresher jobs opening. Please join there. In Facebook, there are MRA job seeker pages. There are Bangalore job seeker pages there. Please join these pages. You will get the details for working. Just don't wait to complete the session from the basin and then you start preparing. Okay, basin does not provided or Q spreader does not provided or GLC. No one take guarantee. To be very frank, to be upfront, to be true to the fact. No one will go and say you that you will get a job. No one will assure you. So please work on your skill set. Find 10 ways to get a job. And thing is to get a job from wherever you get it. Right? That is the thing. Fine. So pretty much this is about the software development life cycle. Okay. Tomorrow we will be discussing about the agile methodologies, stages, and the implementation, how we do it, and then we furtherly move on to the AWS also. 2-3 sessions I will be taking for you guys also, because I got to know that the AWS, whatever you have learned, that is very basic, which is actually not relevant for the industry level. I will be talking you at the architecture level, how architecture things work, not at the service level. So 3 classes you will understand. 3 classes is more than enough to make you understand, which I feel. And then we will move to Git. Then we'll touch some on Linux also, some of the advanced commands. Git we will go, then we go Jenkins, or before Jenkins we go Docker, then we go Kubernetes, which is very important for you guys. For experienced people, it is very important, Kubernetes. And then we talk about Jenkins, and then we talk about some of the monitoring tools. It can be your CloudWatch, Grafana, anything. We can pick up any of the one. And on that basis, your course will go ahead. Right? Yeah, if something is left, I will definitely add on in between on this area. Right? Any further things, any doubt, any clarity anyone needed? Related to the notes part, I really don't want to waste. Please have a limitation that you will only be using the application which we suggest. So again, to writing the code, there are tools like IntelliJ, okay, like Eclipse, like Visual Studio, like Notepad++ also. A time frame was there when we used to write on Notepad++ also. So these are the different IDE tools. Always remembers IDE tool is used to writing the code. Till this part clear? This is the phase where development started. Initial phase when you got a requirement, you got some of the things that, okay, boss, you have to perform this task. In an organization also, when you are getting into the organization, your task will be relevant like that. You should be getting a blank task at your table that can be available in a form of Jira, Bugzilla, any kind of a form of tool which they are using it, and that ticket will be assigned to your name. Owner will be like Charan, name will be mentioned over there, or any particular name it will be mentioned over there, right? And that ticket will be assigned to you. But how that allocation, how that things will come, we will come to know that in sooner into the agile methodology part also. Just understand this part first. Once this part is allocated, after then what will happen? Now, for an example, developer have written the code, everything. Developer have written the code in his system. He downloaded the application IntelliJ in his one. He write the Java code also. And after that, what it happened? He is able to run the code. You're able to see things are working fine. Now think of a scenario if there are 10 or 15 members are there into the team. Were they all able to see the code what he written? Were they all able to see the code what he written? The answer is no, right? Because this is my laptop. I cannot go take my laptop to every one place that, okay, boss, this is the code. See, this is working. I cannot take it. So there again, we find something need to be done it. Again, there should be some mechanism over there. So in that process, again, there is another thing came into the picture. That is your Git. That is your Git and GitHub. That is your Git and GitHub. What exactly it means, Git and GitHub? It means it will give you a, we will talk very detail into this Git classes also, but as of now, for an understanding, Git and GitHub is a common server repo itself, where you will be pushing the code whatever you have written it. It can be before GitHub, there was Bitbucket was there, Bitkeeper was there, many things was there. But in a right trend, it is Git and GitHub, right? So what it is going to be do it will give you one common repo where, for an example, if there are 10 developers are there, let's assume, for an example, from this class, 10 people have given different tasks, but the module is same. Module is AI.